I hereby call the meeting of the Brockton City Council for Monday, July 27th, 2020, 7 p.m. to order. Please stand and join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, councilors. Let's see. This meeting is being held in accordance with Governor Charlie Baker's signed open meeting law order dated March 12, 2020, which relieves a public body from the requirement of Section 20 of Chapter 30A that it conduct its meetings in a public place that is open and physically accessible to the public, provided that the public body makes provision to ensure public access to the deliberations of the public body for interested members of the public through adequate alternative means following COVID-19 procedures. Mr. Clerk,
We
number
have
one.
acceptance of the council minutes of June 18, 2020 special meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
Acceptance of the city council meeting of June 22, 2020.
Accepted and placed on file.
Acceptance of the city council minutes of July 16, 2020 special meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have the reappointment of David Lynch of 30 Quincy Street, Brockton, as a constable in the city of Brockton for a 3-year term.
Referred to finance.
We have the appointment of Frank Gurley of 375 Pearl Street, Brockton, to the Brockton Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term ending July 2025.
Councilor Cruz.
Madam President, at the request of the mayor, I'd like to make a motion to send to postpone number 5 till the next council meeting.
All those in favor of postponing number 5 until the next council meeting? All those opposed? Number 5 is postponed till the next city council meeting.
The appointment of Philip Griffin of 19 Emery Street, Brockton, to the Brockton Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term ending July 2025.
Councilor Cruz.
Madam President, same on this one if we continue to the next city council meeting.
All those in favor of continuing this till the next council meeting? All those opposed? Will be continued to the next city council meeting.
We have the petition of Advanced Auto Performance, LLC of 92 Dartmouth Street, Brockton, for transfer of motor vehicle repair body license located at 210 North Carey Street, Brockton, in clerk's office, hearing assigned for July 27, 2020. All paperwork on file. Fire department has no objections.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward and give your name to the clerk. This is for Andranik Aristamian, DBA Advanced Auto Performance. No? Okay. Doesn't look like they're here. Well, okay.
Make a motion to postpone till later in the evening.
Second.
A motion's been made and properly seconded to postpone until later in the meeting. All those in favor of postponing? All those opposed? The matter postpones till the end of the meeting. I need to close, so I can leave the hearing open, correct? Okay.
Petition of Nanana Realty Trust, LLC, 39 Colonial Road, Milton, for transfer of a garage license located at 1724 Main Street, in clerk's office, January 8, 2020. Hearing assigned for July 2020. All paperwork on file. Fire department has no objections.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward and give your name to the clerk. Good evening, Attorney Creedon.
Thank you, Madam President. Attorney Jake Creedon, 71 Legion Parkway, Brockton. Good evening, members of the council. With me is Abby Nana, the owner of Champion Auto through the LLC, and his general manager, Bob Roderick. Madam President, through to you, to the members of the situation, I want to give you a little bit of history because I think perhaps only Dennis Ianieri was around, Councilor Dennis Ianieri, when these situations came up. We are looking, obviously, for a couple of things tonight. One is the garage approval. He owns the property, and garage licenses must be in the ownership of the owner of the land. Secondly, motor vehicle repair, which is a repair auto body situation. And the other situation is auto mechanical, which is repairing things. Historically, and I have said this before because I've represented over the years a lot of people, this situation is not like your regular auto body where somebody has a license to have a used car, to have 15 or 20 cars or 25 cars. There are several dealers, manufacturer dealers, that take in brand new and sell brand new cars and take in the used car naturally. We call these licenses, and have over the years, fleet licenses, where they might get 50 cars from Copeland Toyota, they might get 50 from Nissan, and obviously those places can't handle them because of parking. So 4 or 5 licenses over the years, one of which I did a couple of years ago, several years ago. I think Dennis may remember, Councilor Iannieri may remember. It was at Veraca's Motor situation, and we moved it further down in Plain Street because it had enormous parking to store these used vehicles that came in fleet sizes from the car manufacturers that we had here. So this is one of those. It's not one of those situations where, and I'm involved with a lot of those, on Main Street, on Montello Street, and on Warren Ave, that have cars that are all over the place, and you can't move in or out. Those situations, this is not one of those. We have over 300 spaces for parking. It is the location basically on the West Bridgewater line where New Heights Charter School is, and it is an ideal situation. They have so many spaces. They've got the arrows. This all started way over a year ago. My client, Mr. Nana, spent for the city, on behalf of the city of Brockton, basically $2.2 million to buy this. So you can imagine what the increase is going to be. He has excise tax for the vehicles that he owns in his business that are, I think, in excess of $20,000. Almost $27,000. So the city, tax-wise, is going to be really benefit. And now, the last year, I have spent many of the weeks and months with Deputy Williams, city departments, to get all of that property, if you will, upgraded. I'm going to tell you just a few. I know you got a busy agenda, but with Deputy Williams and the building department and the water department and everybody else, they revamped an entire new sprinkler system. They moved all of the drop ceilings, which were part of the display areas in Champion Auto, because the sprinklers, the old sprinklers, couldn't get by those drops. That's all been eliminated. Brand new ceilings. The entire public area has been recarpeted. They have done every code situation that was requested, including some very expensive piping that led to the city, ultimately to the city drain septic system. They replaced all of the parking signs. We have at least 8, if not 10, handicap spaces closest to the building, the main store, which the ADA, American Disabilities Act, people require and request. And each one of them is, as I say, is handicapped accessible, but they've gone out of their way to eliminate a parking space and make them all van handicap parking accessible. And I know some of you are very interested in this, Mr. Nana is a minority himself. About 85% of his workers in the present business he has in Quincy and in Brockton are minorities. Needless to say, many of them are drivers with good positions and good income. For those of you who might have got to see the site that when it was sold, the back part of it, which he owns, is a vacant lot, grass, which could expand. It could expand into 50 or 60 more spaces. We're leaving it like it is, but more importantly, it became a junkyard back there. People were dumping things. There was all kinds of rusty cars and stuff. He eliminated all of that. He put in all new GED lighting. What I'm trying to say, and I can go on and on and on, but I'm going to just say he spent already $175,000 to do all these things on behalf of the city and to get this operational. Again, in addition to the $2.2 million he paid for the property. I think it's a great fit, it's a great use, and it's a great benefit to the city on a give back. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Creedon. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Thompson.
Good afternoon, Attorney Creedon.
Good evening, Council.
So, on this 1724A Main Street lot, how many total cars are being garaged there?
Well, again, with and I'm sure Councilor Nicastro will explain it to you, we tried to coordinate the amount of vehicles and stuff that was allowed by the License Commission on the used car with that situation, and to make customer parking designated. All those where customers can park will have a customers only sign. Those that are for sales and other stuff will be also openly marked. And I'm pretty sure that the council will address the exact number, even though I have them. I don't want to misquote what we've agreed to or what we suggest.
So you're saying the Licensing Commission granted up to a certain number already?
Yes.
And
For
that
the
number
used
is?
car sales.
For the used car sales, that number is
300.
300 cars?
Yes.
Okay.
And that has become a problem over the years, you know. I'm sure Deputy Williams can tell you, very often, some of the city license things, I was part of some of them, would have one designate for how many spaces they could use for such and such, and then the zoning board had something different. We're in the process now, at least I am with a few of the councilors and others, to get those numbers together so that the city can act on exactly how many numbers of vehicles can be parked on that lot.
So you're saying that number hasn't been completely determined
No,
yet?
well, one of the reasons is we have actually 330 spaces, okay? But we've agreed on 300 at this time because part of the other suggestion that the councilor from Ward 4 made, we're agreeing to, and that is to do, there hasn't been a parking lot survey in about 20-some years. So we're going to do a new one in the next 30 days. All spaces will be 180 square feet. And again, the signage, which the deputy and the building department, everybody else wanted, is all going to be totally in code and compliance.
So this garage license is contingent upon the development of that plan, the numbers that will be determined?
Well, I think that you're going to vote on the number of minimum that we have. Minimum.
So we're just voting on a minimum today?
Yes, on the
Okay.
minimum. I believe that's correct.
Yes, it's actually a maximum number in the garage.
At the maximum
Forgive
number
me.
inside the garage, yes.
That's all, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Rodriguez.
Well, actually, I think I'm going to yield to Councilor Nicastro because I want to.
Well, there's another councilor before her, so it's up to you.
I'm going to yield and then come back.
Okay. Councilor Fowler.
Yes, just a couple of questions, Attorney Creedon.
Yes.
This agenda item says petition for transferring a garage license for up to 20 cars. So that's only 20 inside the building.
There are two buildings.
Oh, yes, there are two buildings, but according to the agenda item, it says located at 724A Main Street, Brockton, for up to 20 cars. It doesn't give two different addresses or?
No, it doesn't. No, that's correct.
So
But
what?
that's what we're living with and we agreed to at this stage.
All right, so if we're transferring a garage license, what did the old license say? What were the restrictions? What were the parameters for that license? Because if we're just transferring one to the other,
Well, Mr. Robert Horgan had that for like 32 years, I think it was. And I know I have it somewhere in those files there, the old license, but
Councilor,
I'm
through
sure
the
the
chair, I
city
believe there are 20
clerk's
cars,
office.
20 cars in the front and 6 in the back
That-
on the old license as
That
well.
refreshes my recollection.
So that's
20
what-
in front, 6 in the back.
all right, now, and so that's what you're asking for now?
Yes.
20 in the front, 6 in the back?
Yep.
All right, now, and maybe I wasn't listening the way I should, but I thought you mentioned that there are different motor vehicle dealers that don't have space for their cars, so they come here? Is that,
Contract with people like my client for them to take their used car vehicles. And again, I've dealt with those contracts.
and store them? Is that what it, in other words, he's leasing space to other automobile dealers?
No, other automobile dealers have a contract with him to take the used cars and try to sell them and fix them and sell them, okay?
Okay.
All of it is Brockton generated, as you'll hear in a minute or so. You know, they're in the towing situation also. They all come to this location. The manufacturers, and I have a list of them, I think there's 6 of them, they contract, and most of them have already contracted with the people they want them to go to. The best example I can give you is that off of Plain Street, okay, there has been ongoing, for want of a better word, violations of rental parking lots behind those old factories down off of Plain Street, where every car was in there completely surrounded by chain link fence. If there's a fire, the fire trucks can't get to them, it can spread to the other cars. This eliminates that. And so the companies that have already contracted with those rental situations, I think, continue in their contract, and I don't have any of those. But that's the reasoning. There are several parking lots down there that have huge amounts of cars just enclosed in a fenced-in area. And I believe they're mostly rental. This is all our own managed. The general manager, Bob, not only does he have a master's in business planning, he also has a JD, a law degree. So he really is on top of situations, knows the law, and knows what he has to do.
All set,
Thank you.
Counselor? Okay. Counselor Nacastro.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. And as a note to everyone, I've been working pretty regularly with Mr. Nana, the new owner. I'm grateful for his investment in Ward 4. His manager, Mr. Ryder, his lawyer, Jake Creedon, Deputy Chief Williams, and also with Attorney Megan Bridges of the Law Department, trying to figure all of this out. And this evening, on advice from Attorney Megan Bridges, we're going to go forward on 3 licenses, okay? I'm unclear on how we ended up with 5 applications, but we're going forward on 3. One for a garage license at this property, one for a mechanical repair license, and one for an auto body repair license. So I'm kind of I would like to suggest that we merge this garage license, the number you see on the one we're talking about right now, we have a maximum number of cars in the garage of 20. I would like to add 6 to that, so to encompass the 6 that was on the other license, to make it a maximum of 6 between the two buildings that are on the property. Attorney Bridges advises me that that's the best way to proceed on this. And then you'll see on the agenda that some of the licenses are listed at 1724A Main Street, and others are listed at 1724B. And I'm going to be, as they come up, Attorney Creedon and I are going to be asking you to deny the ones that are on B, because we don't need those. We just need a garage license, a mechanical repair, and a body repair at 1724 Main Street.
At this time, these applications were filed in early December of
Long time ago.
2019, so that's part of the
That's right.
mix-up of things that were going on and how many had this and that. We also have done an agreement, which we've signed, and I think the council will probably offer it, for the hours of operation and the other important things, consistent with what auto body things have in the city already. You know, starting at 7, closing at 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays, and closed entirely Sundays and holidays. And I've informed my clients, as I have so many, that that doesn't mean because you own it, you can work on your own car in there. The reason is you don't want to disturb neighbors, even though there's no residential immediate neighbors. You still aren't supposed to even work on your own car on a Sunday or a legal holiday.
So Madam President. So, of course, we don't put stipulations on a garage license, and that's what we'll be voting on first. But for the next two licenses, I have stipulations that have been agreed upon by the owner, and I'll be reading those into the record.
All set, Counselor?
Thank you.
Counselor Ianieri.
Thank you, Madam President. First, let me just make a quick comment because this license is of no doubt a little different, like the attorney said, of what we usually have in front of us. But everybody needs to understand as well that this is the first time in 31 years that this business has turned over from when it used to be Fitzmaurice Lincoln Mercury, and it was bought by Mr. Robert Horgan, and he operated as a Mercury dealership as well as a Lincoln dealership and a Mazda dealership. So again, the first thing that has transpired here is the fact that, we do have a new person that's come into the city and it's taken on, a task of, making this building applicable for what he needs to do with it, with his business that he is now operating there with, and hope and pray that, I hope and pray anyways, and I hope he does as well as Bob and the other manager that's here, that, things get on track so that they can get their vans back out on the street, but who knows what on that, because that's all a part of the transportation of handicap and special needs people, students and everything, so we don't know how that's all gonna work, but, it is a little sketchy. I even looked at it and was amazed. It's, the way it was worded out here too. But when I see the 1724A, I understand what it's doing there. But when I see the up to 20 cars, I guess my concern is in question. Is that what we're looking to do? Is by keeping 20 cars inside the garage every night when we leave, or vehicles? Is that what we're doing? That's how it sounds to me.
I don't think so, no.
No. So what do you mean? So you need to
can't
really
predict-
describe to me the 20-car piece, because,
Counselor, you can't predict how many people or how many cars we're going to get from Copeland, Nissan 24, Dodge Ram 24, Copeland Toyota, Copeland Volkswagen,
but
which
you
is
got-
all in that area.
but you
We
have-
can't predict it.
you got 4.3 acres of land that can hold a lot of cars.
Yes.
So I would hope, and I would mean this, I wouldn't want to see any type of cars just being put in there at night, because you can't fit 20 cars in the garage at night.
Right.
I think anybody can understand that. You got maybe 7 lifts, I think it is, Bob. We got 7 lifts. Lift them up, 5 up, and then you got your number down, you got in different spots. But
They have 9 or 10 lifts, all of which are brand new. They
you got
put
2
new-
out, back.
Yeah.
I know the. 4 out
Four
back,
out
yeah.
back,
I-
exactly.
I know the building and how it's materialized out, yes. But I just have a concern with that and the fact that you do have enough space outside, to be truthful with you. That's
We
what
have
I'm
so
telling you.
much space outside, and that vacant lot that's got to be well over, if
Well,
we had to.
If
which
you
is
want to
your
make it
grass.
look good, the vacant lot needs to be taken care of, needs to be resurfaced, because it never was resurfaced. You need to get rid of the land down back, the back that's junk, that was junk from years ago, and I don't want to see, and I'm speaking as a councilor representing the city of Brockton, not Ward 4, not Ward 3, not Ward 7. I'm speaking as a councilor, 18 years worth. I don't want to see it looking like a junkyard. I don't want to see it looking like the cars that are on Main Street, on Montello Street. I don't want to see stuff like that. We got junk over Montello Street no one pays attention to. You know what I'm talking about, attorney. I'm not picking at you, but I'm just
No,
saying.
I understand. That's well stated, Counselor.
You know what I
And I
mean?
know in
That's
one
what
of
I
the,
wanna see.
one of the things we agreed to, I explained to them, and I have several times, that these licenses doesn't allow you to have what we know as a junk license, which is a whole different license that allows you to take wrecks and put them there. He is, again, a law graduate. He knows, I've explained it to him several times, and one of the clauses covers that, I believe, Counselor.
Right.
But thank you, and that's well stated.
That's my biggest concern. Thank you, appreciate it.
All set, Counselor Castro.
Thank you. So Attorney Creedon, in light of the fact that there are 7 lifts in one building and 4 in another, should we stay with 20 for the maximum number of cars in the garage?
20 in the garage, I would say yes.
Okay, total between the 2 buildings?
We got plenty of space, I mean,
Okay, then let's stay with that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All
Thank you,
set,
Madam
Counselor?
President.
Any other councilors have any questions? No. Is there anyone else here in favor? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? If so, please come forward and give your name to the clerk. Is there anyone else here in opposition? If not, I declare that part of the hearing closed. The questions on granting of the license by a hand vote, right?
Yeah.
All those in favor of granting?
Just point of information, did we read the stipulations into the record?
Not on the garage.
Garage license.
The
so there
garage
is no-
license.
Oh,
There are
I'm
none.
sorry, I thought the number 20 was mentioned.
Well, it's already on the application.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor of granting? All those opposed? The license is granted. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number, I know that we have the other applicant, but we'll continue with this applicant, I believe.
We have,
These
Yeah,
are all
well,
the same
The
applicant.
question's going to be now on that second. Initially, the petitions came in as they were in the past. A garage license for the front building and a garage license for the back building. My understanding now is that there's going to be one garage license that will encompass both buildings. So
single ownership.
consequently, I think what we just do is table that second one just to get rid of it, or whatever your pleasure might be, but there's no action necessary on it.
So we can just table it.
You could just table it and let it just die, and
And those are 1724B that are labeled,
Yeah.
1724B.
Move to table.
Second,
A motion's been made to table. All those in favor? All those opposed? The petition is tabled. Number 10.
okay, table. We got the petition of Champion Auto Center, Inc., DBA Green Auto Plus, 39 Colonial Road, Milton, for a transfer of motor vehicle repair mechanical license at 1724 Main Street, Brockton.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward and state your name. Good evening.
thank you, Attorney Jay Creedon, 71 Legion Parkway. Without going over all of the other situations, this is the mechanical repair. As I indicated, they have, I believe, 9 lifts inside and 4 outside. And again, they're brand new. It's really safe. They put sprinklers there, and they also added what's called, it's only been around a year or so, not a fire break, but if there's something wrong with the lift, they can cancel it immediately so that there's no injuries to anyone. Again, this is going to be the first state-of-the-art in Brockton anyway, auto repair and auto body.
Councilors, Councilor Castro or Councilor Ianieri?
I guess I have to be the mean guy, but I do want to make sure that in all the years that building was there, Abby, there's not a restroom down there, and that needs to be put there. And you know that. There's no restroom down in the auto body.
Yes, but we have 2, 3 actually, in the other building, and we're all one company, we're not,
You should have a separate restroom in that building. Doesn't make sense for the poor person that has to use the restroom, and he's got to come running up to the other, and the other one may be occupied. That's not the correct way of doing it. I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying.
So we are in the process now, though, drawing out that building for expansion to include maybe a second floor as well as restrooms and additional exits.
For what it's worth, I think, Counselor, at least my legal interest in the situation, as long as you're within so many feet of the building that has a toilet, then, and the reason I say that, the industrial park that we have off of West Chestnut Street, I had a lot of those buildings, and some of them were huge buildings, and the men's and ladies' rooms were more than, I think, 250 feet or something. And we found out from the AD and the rest of them, that was okay. But again,
Well,
they've complied with every request of the city for the last 11 months.
and I know they will, but the new norm of life is distance in feet and that measurement, so we all have to live up to that now.
Sure.
Right. Thank you.
Councilor Castro?
Thank you. Good evening. I support this mechanical license. Abby and Mr. Ryder have been very forthcoming with me. Abby has invested a lot of money in this property in Ward 4. He will be hiring from the city of Brockton. I think this is a great use of this property. I do have some stipulations that we have agreed to. Would you like me to read them into the record now?
Please do, Counselor.
Okay, thank you. This is stipulation to the repair licenses. 1724 Main Street, Brockton, application for motor vehicle repair mechanical license. Number 1, applicants agree that at all times during the term of these licenses, the repair businesses operated pursuant to these licenses will comply with all city, state, and federal laws and regulations. Number 2, hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, closed Sunday and legal holidays. Number 3, hours of operation will be posted outside using a minimum of 2-inch letters. Number 4, all outside storage of auto parts and/or debris is prohibited. Number 5, all outside storage of vehicles is prohibited along Main Street. Number 6, all vehicles associated with the use of these licenses must be parked off-street. Number 7, all vehicle repair work must only be undertaken inside the 2 garage buildings. Number 8, a total of 87 exterior parking spaces, that is 24 for repairs, 7 for employees, 48 for customers, 8 handicapped van accessible. Parking spaces for related used auto sales are covered by a separate license, are shown on the parking plan attached here too. Said spaces must be properly striped with 4-inch wide stripes, including cross-hatch sections. Number 9, the parking plan showing parking space designations with licenses will be posted. Signage posted on building or painted on ground will mark applicants' parking spaces as set forth in number 8 above. Number 10, no wrecked, damaged, or dismantled motor vehicles or parts thereof will be visible from Main Street. Number 11, applicant acknowledges employing an appraiser as required by Massachusetts state law. Number 12, any dumpster will be properly fenced per ordinance and/or state law and shown on plan provided with application. Number 13, vending machines will not be placed outside any building. 14, all vehicles for repair will be stored solely at the licensed premises. 15, applicants agree that no illegality will take place on the licensed premises. 16, upon acceptance of these licenses, the undersigned acknowledge that any violation of the stipulations set forth above is punishable by a fine of $360 per offense per day and may be the reason for revocation of either or both of these licenses. And this has already been accepted in writing by Mr. Nana.
Second?
Motion's been made for improperly seconded. You're all set, Counselor?
I am,
Okay.
thank you.
Although, to accept the stipulations. All those in favor of accepting the stipulations? All those opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Right now, so no further questions on these? No. Is there anyone else here in favor? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? Please come forward and give your name to the clerk. Is there anyone else here in opposition? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. The question is on granting. All those in favor of granting
With the stipulation.
with the stipulations? All those opposed? The license is granted with the stipulations.
Petition of Champion Auto Center, Inc., DBA Green Auto Plus, for a transfer of motor vehicle repair body license located at 1724 Main Street, Clerk's Office, January 8, 2020. Hearing assigned for July 20, 2020. All paperwork on file. The fire department has no objections.
Madam President?
Yes.
This is for the body shop license. The other was the mechanical.
Right. I just wanted to make one comment. On the
Yes.
agenda, this is listed as being at 1724B Main Street, but this is actually just 1724. This is the only body shop, body repair license that is listed.
Right now, those licenses are going to read 1724. They're not going to read A and B.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? Please come forward and state your name.
Thank you, Madam President. Attorney Jake Creedon, 71 Legion Parkway, Brockton. With me is the owner and the general manager of 723 Wade Street, Champion Auto. Same situation, except this is what you call the spray booth spray situation, where you, after you fix the vehicle up, you then make it look new.
All set? Any questions, councilors? Councilor Nacastro?
Thank you. I support granting of this license for the aforementioned reasons stated earlier, and I do have stipulations to it. They are the very same stipulations I read with the mechanical license. I'm happy to read them again.
Please do, so that way they go into the record.
Stipulations to repair license, RE 1724 Main Street, Brockton, application for motor vehicle repair auto body license. Number one, applicants agree that at all times during the term of these licenses, the repair businesses operated pursuant thereto will comply with all city, state, and federal laws and regulations. Number two, hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, closed Sunday and legal holidays. Number three, hours of operation will be posted outside using a minimum of 2-inch letters. Number four, all outside storage of auto parts and/or debris is prohibited. Number five, all outside storage of vehicles is prohibited along Main Street. 6, all vehicles associated with the use of these licenses must be parked off-street. 7, all vehicle repair work must only be undertaken inside the 2 garage buildings. 8, a total of 87 exterior parking spaces, 24 for repairs, 7 for employees, 48 for customers, 8 handicap van accessible. Parking spaces for related used auto sales are covered by a separate license. Are shown on the parking plan attached here too. Said spaces must be properly striped with 4-inch wide stripes, including cross-hatched sections. 9, the parking plan shows parking space designations with licenses will be posted. Signage posted on building or painted on the ground will mark applicants' parking spaces as set forth in number 8 above. 10, no wrecked, damaged, or dismantled motor vehicles or parts thereof will be visible from Main Street. 11, applicant acknowledges employing an appraiser as required by Mass state law. 12, any dumpster will be properly fenced per ordinance and/or state law and shown on plan provided with application. 13, vending machines will not be placed outside any building. 14, all vehicles for repair will be stored solely at the licensed premises. 15, applicants agree that no illegality will take place on the licensed premises. 16, upon acceptance of these licenses, the undersigned acknowledge that any violation of the stipulations set forth above is punishable by a fine of $360 per offense per day and may be the reason for revocation of either or both of these licenses. And it had all these terms have been accepted by the property owner.
Second.
Motion's been made to accept the stipulations. All those in favor of accepting the stipulations? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Stipulations are accepted. Is there anyone else here in favor? If so, please come forward and give your name. I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? Please come forward and state your name. Is there anyone else here in opposition? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. The question is on granting with stipulations. All those in favor of granting with stipulations? All those opposed? The license is granted with stipulations. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 13, that's the petition when the premises was being divided. It's no longer being divided,
That's-
so you can move the table.
12, correct?
But number 12, yes.
Number 12.
Need to
So
read it first?
we didn't read the other one.
Make a motion to table. Item number
Second?
A motion's been made to table and properly seconded. All those in favor of tabling number 12? All those opposed? Number 12 is tabled. Councilors, I would just like to just tell councilors, I know it's very warm in here for some reason. The AC may not be working very well, so if you do whatever you need to be comfortable, if you don't want to wear your jackets, I know it's a city council meeting, but please be, I don't want anybody to overhear, so please be comfortable. Mr. Clerk.
Petition of 1854 Main Street LLC for a garage license located at 1854 Main Street in City Clerk's office, February 21st, 2020. Hearing is signed for July 27th, 2020. All paperwork is on file, and the fire department has no objections.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward and state your name.
I'm Stan Silver.
Good evening, sir. Are you the owner of the business?
I am.
Okay. Did you want to state anything, or is this, what ward is this? Did the councilor speak to the Councilor Nicastro?
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Sever. Thank you for being here. And Mr. Sever has worked with me, has been cooperative, and we've gone over stipulated for the license. His business, Mass Best Motors, is now located on Montello Street. And last year, he made the decision to invest again in Ward 4. He purchased the former Nilsson Fence property, right?
Yep.
And has redeveloped it into a combination sales of used vehicles, mostly trucks, and now he wants to have repair licenses. He obtained his Class 2 license from the License Commission last December. And so he's been waiting through COVID-19 to finish things out and get these repair licenses. This evening, we're going forward on the mechanical repair license. The next one on the body license, I'm going to be asking to postpone it. But anyway, he has worked extensively with Deputy Chief of the Fire Department, Ed Williams, who has given us the go-ahead to go forward on this license this evening. I appreciate his investment in Ward 4. He's a hard-working gentleman, and I do support this.
Thank you. Any other questions, councilors? No? Is there anyone else here in favor? Okay. If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? If so, please come forward and give your name to the clerk. If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. The questions on granting?
Well,
All those?
forgive me, Madam President, I do have some stipulations that you probably want me to read into the
This
record.
is the garage license.
This is the garage
Oh,
license.
I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself.
The questions on granting, all those in favor? All those opposed? The garage license is granted. Congratulations. Number 14.
We have the petition of Mass Best Motors, Inc., DBA Step Van USA of 286 Ettrick Street, Brockton, for a motor vehicle repair mechanical license located at 1854 Main Street in City Clerk's office, February 21st, 2020. Hearing is signed for July 27th, 2020. All paperwork is on file, and the fire department has no objections.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? Please come forward and state your name to the clerk.
Stan Silver.
Good evening again, sir. Do you have anything to state on this? This is the mechanical license, the repair? Oh. Councilor Nicastro, is this?
Thank you, Mr. Sever. Mr. Sever and I have talked, and we have some stipulations to this mechanical repair license.
Okay, would you like to read
Yes,
them?
thank you. RE 1854 Main Street, Brockton, application for motor vehicle repair mechanical license. Applicant is Mass Best Motors, Inc. Number 1, applicant agrees that at all times during the term of these licenses, the repair business is operated pursuant to it will comply with all city, state, and federal laws and regulations. Number 2, hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday, closed Sunday and legal holidays. Number 3, hours of operation will be posted outside using a minimum of 2-inch letters. Number 4, all outside storage of auto parts and/or debris is prohibited. Number 5, all outside storage of vehicles is prohibited along Main Street. 6, all vehicles associated with use of the license must be parked off-street. 7, all vehicle repair work must only be undertaken inside the garage building. 8, a total of, and I'm not sure about the number of parking spaces. We have not confirmed that.
Yes. So currently we have 12 spots allocated for repairs.
All right. Total of 12 exterior parking spaces are available and are shown on the parking plan attached here too. They will be properly striped with 4-inch wide stripes, including crosshatch sections. 9, the attached parking plan showing parking space designations with licenses will be posted. Signage posted on building or painted on the ground will mark dedicated parking spaces, as set forth in number 8 above. 10, no wrecked, damaged, or dismantled motor vehicles or parts thereof will be visible from Main Street. 11, applicant acknowledges employing an appraiser as required by Massachusetts law. 12, any dumpster will be properly fenced per ordinance and/or state law and shown on plan provided with application. 13, vending machines will not be placed outside any building. 14, all vehicles for repair will be stored solely at the licensed premises. 15, applicants agree that no illegality will take place on the licensed premises. 16, upon acceptance of the license, the undersigned acknowledges that any violations of the stipulation set forth above is punishable by a fine of $360 per offense per day and may be the reason for revocation of either or both of these licenses. And I should say that at the original location of Mass Best Motors, Mr. Savur is in the process of cleaning up the property. He still maintains repair licenses there, and he is taking care of that. It should be finished by the end of this week. Thank you, Madam President.
Counselor Farwell.
Just a point of information, so this is the transfer of a license location, am I right?
This is a new license.
This is a new license?
Yes, that's accompanying, it's because there's already a Class 2 auto sales
Thank you,
license
thank you.
there. Yes.
I should have remembered that, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
A motion's been made to accept the stipulations and properly seconded. All those in favor of accepting the stipulations? All those opposed? Sir, you understand all the stipulations as well? You went over them with the counselor? Okay. Is there anyone else here in favor? If so, please come forward and state your name. If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? Please come forward and state your name to the clerk. Is there anyone else here in opposition? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. The questions on granting with stipulations. All those in favor of granting with stipulations? All those opposed? The license is granted. Congratulations, sir.
We have the petition of Mass Best Motors, Inc., DBA Step Van USA, 286 Ettrick Street, Brockton, Mass., for a motor vehicle repair body license located at 1854 Main Street, Brockton, in the City Clerk's office, February 21st, 2020. Hearing is signed for July 27, 2020. All paperwork is on file. However, the fire department has objections as it does not conform to the standards outlined by Mass General Laws, CMR, and ROCOB. Currently, there is no proper equipment to allow for painting, priming, or bonding on the premises. Pending the installation of the proper equipment to allow for painting, priming, and bonding, and the approval of equipment and installation, the fire department would then have no objections.
Madam President?
Yes. I haven't opened the hearing, but
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Jude.
Open the hearing.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? Please come forward and state your name.
Stan Silver.
Good evening, sir. Councilor Nacastro.
Thank you. I apologize for interrupting you. As Mr. Zioli read, back in March, when the fire department wrote to the clerk, there were some issues with that the Deputy Chief Williams pointed out in his writing, and he is working with Mr. Savur. They're not quite finished yet, and we're also working on a parking plan, or finalizing the parking plan. So at this time, I'm making a motion to postpone this hearing until our next council meeting in August.
Second.
A motion's been made to postpone until the city council meeting in August. All, and properly seconded. All those in favor of postponing? All those opposed? This petition is postponed until August. So I still have to close the hearing, right? Does it stay open? Okay.
Okay?
I
You're all
hereby
set.
close this hearing.
Okay?
Thank you.
Madam President?
Counselor
I'd like to
Fowler.
make a motion to take item 32 out of order to accommodate Attorney Saeedi's.
Sure, we were going to, I know there was one petitioner that wasn't here, the first one, and he's in. Maybe we should hear him first.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll be back, sure.
That would be best,
I
okay.
think he's right there.
Are you Mr. Aristamia? Yes, okay. Mr. Clerk,
Let's see, what's your number?
it was number 7.
7.
How are you, Council?
Hearing for Advanced Auto Performance LLC of 92 Dartmouth Street, Brockton, for transfer of motor vehicle repair body license located at 210 North Carey Street and Clerk's Office. Hearing assigned for July 27, 2020. All paperwork on file. Fire Department has no objections.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? Please come forward and give your name to the clerk. That's you, sir.
Hi, I'm Andronic Arstamian.
You're the owner of
I'm the
the...
owner of Advanced Auto Performance LLC at 210 North Carey Street. I just want to inform you that, I want the body shop license and transferred under my name so I can continue the business and grow, hopefully.
Councilors, Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, Mr. Arustaman. So we've been able to have a conversation, you and I, last week. That conversation spoke to some stipulations that we'd like to include on your license. If I could just read some of the stipulations that we did agree to. I wish I had Councilor Nicastro's list. Those are very well done. But winging it, I came up with a few things that we discussed. This location, unlike the ones on Main Street, are directly abutting a residential area, so there are concerns about some noise coming from the shop during your working hours. So we did speak about installing exterior cameras. Some of those cameras, there'd be 2 facing the parking lot and 2 facing the street. We also spoke about signage, that signage being clearly stated that the exterior cameras are present and people are being recorded both on the street and in the parking lot. And lastly, additional signage stating that there'd be no revving of any engines or playing of loud music in the parking lot. So I'd like to add those stipulations to the license. I did have some questions, Mr. Arustamayan, regarding your hours of operation. When do you intend to operate your business?
We open the shop at 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Saturdays, we are open from 9 a.m. until noon. Unless we have appointments, then we work until 4 p.m. And Sundays, we are closed.
So you'd be closed Sundays and all holidays, is that correct?
Sundays and all holidays, we are closed.
Madam President,
Yes,
so that's all I have, and I would make a motion to accept with the stipulations.
Second.
What's that?
A motion's been made and properly seconded to accept the stipulations. All those in favor?
Yeah, why not get 'em out of the way?
Stipulations?
Get Monahan was
Anyone
part of it.
opposed? The stipulations are accepted.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here in favor? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed.
I have a
Oh,
quick question.
sorry, Councilor Rodriguez.
You accepted a stipulation that there's going to be no engine revving in the parking lot.
Correct.
If you're going to repair cars, are you sure you're not going to be able to?
Well, we repair the cars inside the building, so...
Yeah, but still. I mean, is that within a certain time frame, or is it just basically all day long? I mean, the guy can't rev his engine in the parking lot?
Well, Councilor, so through Madam President, to Councilor Rodriguez, so there were some incidences of patrons revving their engines loudly in the parking lot. This was outside of the repair area, and that was done during business hours, I would presume. that's the time that he would have control over the property. So the stipulation is that there would be no continued revving of engines during working operations in the parking lot.
So you're saying now if I show up to his business and I rev my engine, that's going to be basically on his watch? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that would, people, first of all, would be aware not to rev engines, so that's why we're going to include some signage, and if there were the revving of engines, then he would have responsibility to come out into the parking lot and tell those patrons to cease.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've been in this council for a while, and once in a while, we put all these conditions into some of these businesses, and then we're basically, instead of this poor guy being inside fixing his cars, doing normal business hours, we're asking them to be the watchman in the parking lot, to keep an eye on the patrons that he has no control over in some instances. And that's the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I don't want to sit here again in another few months having this poor guy dragged in here because some guy, that he can't control was raving his engines in the parking lot. So I honestly would feel more comfortable if we say between this period of time to that period of time. I think it makes sense, but just a blanket statement that a garage isn't going to be able to run his engine if he needs to run the engine even outside of his garage, to me, that makes very little sense.
Well, the stipulation, Counselor, is to have signage saying not to do it. There is no penalty attached. There is no requirement for him to be, there would be no fine. This is just signage so that people would be aware not to do it. That's the only request I'm making, is to put signage up saying not to do it.
But we're not going to drag him in here in handcuffs because somebody revved their engines in the parking lot. That's what I'm
There's
saying.
been no contemplation of making this a criminal violation or any other violation, just to have signage so that people are aware not to do it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All set, councilors. I had closed that portion of the hearing. Is there anyone here in opposition? Please come forward and state your name to the clerk. Is there anyone here in opposition? Please come forward. Seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. The questions on granting with stipulations, all those in favor of granting with stipulations? All those opposed? The license is granted with the stipulations.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations. Councilor Cruz.
Madam President, just before we get into the Legal Greens LLC, we did have a late file sent over from the police department
We
for
did.
promotion. I'd like to make a motion to take that under
Second.
suspension of the rules and act on it this evening.
A motion has been made for late files to be taken under suspension
Second.
of the rules and act on it this evening, and properly seconded. All those in favor? All those opposed? We will hear the late file before us. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, we have a request from the chief of police to the mayor and the mayor's authorization. The requested that Officer Jason Sullivan be promoted to the rank of sergeant, as he was the top-ranked candidate on the attached promotional list.
Thank you, Mr.
And I
Clerk.
believe Officer Sullivan is here, if he could come up.
Good evening, Officer Sergeant Sullivan. Congratulations.
Thank you
very much.
Well, congratulations in advance.
It's quite exciting. Thank you.
Well, we're very happy to see you here. Sorry, we looked for you at the beginning of the meeting
was hidden.
but thank you. We didn't recognize you with your mask, but thank you for being here. Councilors?
Congratulations.
Just congratulations and good luck.
Great job.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the promotion. All those in favor? All those opposed? The promotion's granted. Congratulations. and thank you.
Congratulations.
Council Fowler.
Yes, Madam President, I move to take item 32 out of order.
Second.
Motion's been made and probably seconded to take number 32 out of order. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? We're taking number 32 out of order.
We have the granting of the marijuana license to Legal Greens LLC, located at 73-75 Pleasant Street, Brockton, in City Council July 16, 2020, continue to July 27, 2020 meeting. And City Council, June 17, 2020. Motion was made to continue to July 27, 2020, properly seconded. Motion carried by a roll call vote.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward and state your name. And I just ask people in the gallery if you can just practice social distancing. You can spread out in the bench, that would be greatly appreciated. Good evening, Attorney.
Good evening, Madam Chairperson, members of the council. Again, for the record, my name is Richard Stady. I'm the counsel for Legal Greens, LLC. It's great to be back here again. Thank you for having us. Before beginning, I do want to take a moment to recognize and thank the council members who assisted us in indirect ways, and also Attorney Resnick for her cooperation and giving me some insight into the things that we needed. I think you're going to see before you tonight a much more complete document. It's been completely revised. We were very careful to attend to the things that were noted as missing. And just to highlight very quickly, those things include, but are not limited to, the complete cannabis application and all the information in terms of financial information that was missing. It contains the complete host agreement and the certification by the Cannabis Commission. There is, of course, the zoning material, which I had a key part in obtaining, the site plan approval and the planning board approval, both the application and the permits. And in addition, we also submitted the stormwater management records that were needed to get that approval. Financial information, as I noted, was supplied. The community notice was provided. The lease and property information, and of course, all the necessary identification information, such as Corey, licenses, and other relevant things that you need for an application. As I said, I am grateful for the help and input I got from different members, and certainly on behalf of Legal Greens, we want to express our gratitude to the city for giving us this opportunity tonight. I want to also point out that this plan has been going on for a while. I remember actually very frankly with another client, but in the beginning when you began this process, I mean, it's been a long road, and I've had the pleasure of watching you in process and evolving as a city and developing the bylaw. Certainly, this was vetted very carefully and very thoroughly by the Tech Review Committee, by the Planning Board and Zoning Board in terms of making sure that the criteria are met and that those special permits were given in the right manner. So I mean, again, credit to those people along the way for helping us out. And finally, I guess he's not here tonight, but I do want to mention Councilor Monahan and others who helped us on behalf of getting those special permits along the way. They did an excellent job in helping us on behalf of our clients. So in accordance with Section 1.006, I present for the record this document, which I think is very thorough. With your permission, I have a very brief PowerPoint presentation that I'd like to have presented by our two key people in our application here. Vanessa Jean-Baptiste is here, and also Mark Bouquet. Mark is the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. Vanessa, this young lady here, is the CEO, CEO of the organization. They are, as I remind you respectfully, an economic empowerment applicant, as you know. And of course, as I said, we are ready to go to work here in Brockton and get to the next phase. If we could start the PowerPoint, if we could. And Vanessa, do you want to talk through it? Do you want me to talk through it? Whatever you wish.
We could go. So my name is Vanessa Jean-Baptiste. I am a resident of Brockton. I have been born and raised in Brockton.
Vanessa, I don't mean to interrupt, but come a little closer to the microphone.
My name is Vanessa Jean-Baptiste. I am a resident of Brockton, born and raised. I worked in probation in Brockton. I've gone to school in Brockton, and I'm in my first semester of law school. And this is my partner, Mark, and Mike.
Hi, my name is Mark Bouquet, Chief Operating Officer of Legal Greens.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Maloney. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
We'll just do a quick little rundown of what's going on in Brockton. Brockton has one operating, which is in good health. They have 4 companies that are in provisional and 6 companies that have their final license so far. And this is what the store looks like. We are 500 feet away from public schools and private schools, and we are 500 feet away from any other dispensaries that are operating. This is what our business will look like afterwards. This is the rendering. Do you want to do the operations?
Sure. Well, that needed to be updated, but we plan on commencing in November of 2020. COVID kind of slowed things down. We plan on hiring about 16 to 20 local residents for employment. We plan on paying about $17 and up. Operating hours are going to be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will strictly sell to customers that are over 21 years old. And in the beginning, we will have traffic control working with the Brockton Police Department, making sure that we keep the flow of traffic very, limited. As for transportation, clients will be able to take the BAT. The bus stop is right in front of our store, so it's really good for people. The commuter rail is right up the street. It's just driving distance, not too far, and it's right in the center of downtown. I already spoke about the commuter rail. Very quick, back center. We have a parking lot that we are actually doing over for the dispensary, and it's repaved. People will be able to go back there, and then now we're turning left out of the parking lot so we don't cause traffic on the Pleasant Street. That was something that was brought up and when we were going through zoning. All our zoning is good with parking. We fit the criteria. We'll have security. We have our security guy. He's actually right here. There's going to be cameras all over the outside of the dispensary, inside, to make sure everything is very secured. Everybody has to go through, showing their IDs a few times during their purchase process in the dispensary. Plans to keep that diversion is, something that the CCC required, and we're just going to do it ourselves, making sure that cannabis does not get to anybody under the age of 21. So we're going to be very strict on that. Our whole license stands on that, and we're not going to lose our license for nobody. It's just not going to happen. Prevention, making sure there's no loitering around the property, no smoking in or around the property, and, making sure that people are aware of things to do and not to do when they're under the control of marijuana. So we got our community outreach. We did our community outreach September 2019. We were able to obtain our retail host agreement in October. We submitted the application, got our provisional license right before COVID, March 6th, and like we said, we're looking to get our final license tonight to start operations in November 2020. So, go ahead.
So,
Thank you,
this slide is about why we chose downtown. Downtown is going through its own renovations, and we want to be part of the new revive in downtown. And these are just pictures of projects that have been completed, are in the process of completing, or already completed. And we want to be part of downtown redevelopment. And before and after, any questions?
Good. Excellent.
Any questions? Councilor Fowler?
Thanks, Vanessa and Mark and Attorney Stady for this. This is just as the other applicants submitted, and I really appreciate the time and effort you put into this.
Thank you.
As you know, I asked about 14, 15 questions of all the other applicants. They were a matter of public record. I sent them to you, so there are no surprises. So this is really more just for the record.
Sure, yeah.
And we'll go through these really quickly.
Yep.
And either Mark or Vanessa can answer. Have you reviewed the city ordinances relating to marijuana business regulations?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Do you understand the provisions of the ordinances and acknowledge that a violation of them could be grounds for suspension or revocation of any license granted by the city council?
Yes, we know that.
Do you understand and acknowledge that any false or misleading statements during this application procedure could be grounds for revocation of any license?
Yes.
Are there any public employees in the city, appointed or elected, who have a financial or other interest in your application? And I define other as an investment, a potential employment, or management role?
No.
principal investors in the company. I think it's you and Mark, if I'm correct.
And Michael Maloney.
And Mr. Maloney, yes, that's right. Do you have an ownership agreement with other individuals? And if so, who are the participants in the agreement in their respective roles?
Just us three.
Okay. And the day-to-day manager of the business, have you,
I will be in charge of
Congratulate you.
day-to-day operations.
all right. Do you currently own any other marijuana licensed business in Massachusetts or another state?
No, we do not.
Okay. Do you have a pending application for any other marijuana license in Massachusetts or another state?
Yes, we are in the process of trying to get a host agreement in Boston.
Okay. Is the business for which you seek a license to be operated for more than a year? Do you look at this as a long-term?
Yes, we do. Lifetime.
Okay. And I know the answer to this, but for the record, have you executed a host community agreement with any other municipality other than Brockton?
No, not at the moment.
I know you have an equity license granted by the CCC. What other requirements will the Cannabis Control Commission require of you, if you know?
At this moment, we have just completed our, what is it called? Our, no, we did our provisional. We are doing the architectural review. We just completed that. So now we have to go ahead to do build-out in the
Okay.
city.
And you answered this, but again, on what date would you expect to begin? I think you said November of 2020?
Yes.
Okay. My last comment is, I know there was some mention of the location, and this is just me personally, folks, but if someone's willing to put their time and their talent and their effort into a business, and they're putting private investment money behind that business, and as long as it's not a public safety matter, I don't think it's up to me to pass judgment on that. I don't know the best places to open restaurants, and I don't know the best places to open yours, but you're committed to this. We went through this when we started the zoning process, and I guess I can just say good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Counselor Ianieri.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of a sidestep of what the Councilor at Large, Farrell, just mentioned, because at the meeting or the hearing we had a few weeks ago, I was a councilor, the only councilor that did mention my concern about the location of this business being at that particular spot. And knowing that even the length of time it took us to write an ordinance, that, I know a couple of councilors that went to a zoning meeting and sort of sidestepped the ordinance a little bit, which I thought was a little odd to do, but I guess when I've taken the last week or so to study the area a little bit more myself, which I drive constantly, I would say at least once or twice, maybe 3 times out of the day, I would have to say there's not too many places within the city I don't drive to in the course of the day. Well, being a retired councilor, you can do an awful lot and see an awful lot of things in the city. My biggest concern with this location, I would openly admit, as everyone else would, is traffic flow, busy street, not only with vehicles, with people walking. The fire department being located on Pleasant Street, the times it has to come out of that operation fire department, the main fire department, and either go left or right. Also the parking lot, and knowing that now you're going to have to only be able to exit to one way, and you're going to come out, and then you're going to join on to Spring Street and back of the building and into Warren Avenue up to, or you can take a left to get back on to Warren Avenue and go that way. But in any case, just looking at that just led me, to believe that I don't think, and that's one of the reasons that the ordinance was in play, that we weren't going to try to have them in these types of locations. And the building doesn't need a lot of work, and I commend you for taking on the task of getting it taken care of to make it look like what I see to the right. But I'm going to take a different tone, and the one thing I don't want to do, because I am business orientated, and I think the recreational marijuana business, we've got a very late start, as you know we did. It was voted in 2016, and here we are 2020, and we only have one facility in the city of Brockton that's bringing revenue back into the city. We're way behind. We're way behind, and I don't want to cause anyone else or any other business any hardship if they feel that they can make it and get it done and done in the correct way, and I think that you can. You know, I am gonna vote in favor of it because I think you put some work together here. There's potential, and I see you've come back with us with the adequate information that we were looking for a week or 10 days ago that we didn't have, and I commend you on that. So my head's up to that. I just want you to know that I am in favor of it. Wish you the best of luck, and just, you know, stay on top of it the best you can, as all other recreational marijuanas or medical marijuanas do, and go by the guidelines and rules and regulations, and I'm sure you'll be giving us the aid that we need here back in the city. So I thank you, and I will be supporting your endeavor this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate Councilman's comments, and again, I think that, as he knows quite well, you know, we did have to get special permits from zoning and planning. There are restrictions, as noted as well, but it obviously behooves the client to make sure it's a well-run establishment as well, because we want to succeed. I mean, there's your bottom line, is we want to do everything the right way, and they're committed to doing that. But I appreciate your comments in a general context and your support this evening. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Cardoso.
Vanessa, Mark, congratulations. You've worked really hard. I'm really proud of you, too. I had a couple questions similar to what I asked the other applicants around safety. And, Mark, you addressed a little bit of that. But especially in this area, it's of utmost importance for you to maintain all those safety measures that you talked about, to make sure that, you know, kids do not have access to the products and that people are not outside hanging around. Being a minority-owned business, we're looking up to you, so you have a lot. I hate to put extra pressure on you, but we're looking up to you to make sure that you make us proud and that you succeed. So please just be really intentional about everything that you do to make sure that your business is a success, and collaborate with the other businesses in the area to make sure you guys are all looking out for each other. The liquor store's there, like Councilor Neri said, the fire department, there's a church, you know, Vicente, all of those places, to make sure that everybody's watching out for each other and that your business is successful, because we want to be, you know, even more proud a year or two from now when we see you thriving. The other question I had was around complaints last time. So what are you thinking about as far as if folks in the community have complaints, how you're going to address those complaints?
Yeah.
So, depending on what type of complaint it is, but we will, if it has to do with law enforcement, we'll reach out to law enforcement to take care of the issue. If it's something that we could handle ourselves, I'm very hands-on. You know, I could fix issues and tame them down, so.
And you'll be there full-time,
Yeah, I'll
Mark?
be there,
Okay.
day-to-day operations. I used to work for Walgreens for 11 years. I was actually, the last Walgreens I worked at was Main Street, South Side in Brockton. So a few years back, I helped restore that store. So I have all the experience, over 15 years of retail, so I know how to, you know, manage and.
Good. Just stay on top of things and make sure you're, you know, handling those issues as soon as they arise, so that they don't, you know, turn into a bigger problem. But congratulations to you guys.
I think, too, if I may add, just quickly, I think we want to be proactive rather than reactive. And I think I can say, honestly, I've had the pleasure of working with different clients in terms of this city. These people are top-notch. Everything's in terms of what I wanted, in terms of putting an application before you, has been exactly what I wanted as an attorney. I'm very proud to represent this group tonight, and I think you'll be proud of them as well. And hopefully we'll stay right on top of everything.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank
you for
you.
your support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to echo the concerns or the sentiments of Councilor Cardoso. A lot of us are putting a lot on the line to make sure that you succeed in this city. It's reputation, it's, you know, making statements up here. I know it's not fair to us at times, but we have to do things twice as good as everybody else, because often the leash that are put upon us are not as long as everybody else's leash, and you know what I'm saying by that. So I'm hoping that you become successful, you run a successful business, but don't cut any corners. Don't cut any corners. Don't try to make a quick buck in some instances, because a lot of our folks tend to do that. Because when you do that, you let a lot of people down. And I hope that you become as successful can be, and that, you know, you will continue to be somebody that I'm personally proud of you for the fact that when I first became mayor in this city, I wanted to make sure that you were given an opportunity to compete. Nobody gave you anything. I got nothing from you, and I'm sure you got nothing from me. But we wanted to give you an opportunity to compete at the level that everybody else was competing. And that's why I personally went to bat for you, at least to give you a host agreement so you can proceed and get the things done. But again, I want to make sure that I leave it here very clear. Please do not cut any corners. Don't embarrass us, basically. And congratulations and best of luck to you. Thank you, Madam President.
All set? All set. Counselor Mendez.
Hello.
Hello?
What I want to say is just a quick comment. I had an opportunity to actually go into the property and see all the work that it's being done there, so I can really confidently say that they're putting in a lot of work. It's much bigger than looking from the outside. When you go inside, it's really big. So I really have confidence that that place is going to be very successful. In that, I drove around all of the locations. That one, it was the only location where there was actually work going on. So I can see that you guys are actually ahead, and I'm confident that it will open in November of this year, because I saw that you're actually putting in work towards it. So congratulations. I really wish you all the best, and once it's all ready and nicely, then I'd like to come back just to see the end result. But thank you.
We will definitely have an open house, and you'll be on the list. All you will. Thank you. Definitely. No free samples, though, but, you know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Any other counselors? Counselor Nacastro.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I just wanted to confirm, and I asked these questions of all of our applicants recently. All of the information that was provided to the CCC was as of, for the most part, August of 2019. So I just want to make sure you're still in compliance with the Department of Revenue and the Secretary of State?
Yes, we are.
Okay, no changes. And I'd like you to speak about your impact plan and how you plan to help the city, because I thought it was very interesting. You're going to host workshops?
Yes.
Tell us about it, Mark.
Yeah, so back when I was young, I was actually in a mentoring program called Summer of Opportunity in Boston. I'm from Boston. It was right when I was like sophomore year in high school, and what it really taught me is certain things that they just don't teach you in school, like, you know, how to tie a tie, how to dress for an interview, what questions to ask, preparation before you go to certain meetings. So, and I feel like a lot of the youth, they lack that in life right now. So we want to bring impact programs to the city that helps the youth in mentoring and, you know, job finding. It doesn't even have to be cannabis related, just, you know, HVAC, certain things, certain hands-on things that could take a child from the streets, keeping them busy, and giving them something to do for the future. That's one of the plans that we're going to do. That's for the youth. We plan on doing something for the young adults as well that's been that's been in prison and on their way out, basically. My buddy, he works in the prison system, and he's a mentor, so I'm going to team up with him so we could get those people on the right track after leaving prison, because that makes a big difference on how the community is, and people of the community will benefit from it, basically. And so just to add on a little bit about the CCC's impact plan in regards to hiring people. So we plan on having, so right now the general contractor that we chose to do the project is a minority owner. So we're working around not just us, but the money that we're going to be taking in, we're passing it along to other minority families as well, based on who we're hiring and who we're working with.
Thank you, that's laudable. And your paperwork talked about you were going to host and advertise workshops about how to get into the cannabis industry. So you're going to pass on what you learn,
Correct.
and you'll be doing that in Brockton?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam
All set,
President.
Counsel. Any other councilors have any questions? No? Is there anyone else here in favor? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? If so, please come forward and state your name. Is there anyone here in opposition? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. The questions on granting of the license by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Asak?
Yes.
Cardoza?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Ianieri?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Wow.
That's 10 in the affirmative, 0 in opposition.
Absolutely incredible.
Congratulations, the license is granted.
Thank you so much. God bless
Madam
you. Thank
President,
you
I
very
move
much.
reconsideration in the hope it does not prevail.
Second.
Second.
A motion's been made for reconsideration, hopes it does not prevail. All those in favor of reconsideration, all those opposed, reconsideration fails.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
We will. Thank
Congrats.
you very much. Thank you, Councilman.
We have the report of the Ordinance Committee for its meeting of June 17, 2020.
Thank you.
Accepted and placed on file.
Report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of July 20th, 2020.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending that the city council resolves to appropriate up to $12,131,213.26 from unanticipated revenues from the Plymouth County CARES disbursement for purpose of mitigating impacts of COVID-19 on city and school operations. Funds to be expended and reimbursed from Plymouth County for the purpose outlined in Plymouth County CARES Community Update.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Executive Director of the Parking Authority requesting a transfer of $30,704 from Parking Authority reserve meters to personnel part-time salaries.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending that the city council provide authorization to expend additional funds from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Mass Census Division 2020 Census Municipal Grant in the amount of $50,000.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Procurement Department requesting a transfer of $26,654 to the Procurement Department full-time salaries. The purpose of the transfer is to fund the vacant position of Administrative Assistant, Grade 2, that was presented as unfunded in the fiscal '21 budget.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending that the city council pass the HDIP tax increment exemption between the city of Brockton and 19 Residencies, LLC, for the property located at 19 Main Street.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the city council pass the HDIP tax increment exemption between the city of Brockton and 28 Petronelli LLC for the property located at 28 Petronelli Way.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on
We
file.
have an ordinance being ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows, that Section 2-127 of Chapter 2 is hereby amended by adding the following, Division 7, Department of Human Resources, favorable as amended. In council, February 24, 2020, read and refer to Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended.
Okay. Questions on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment? All those opposed? The amendment passes. The question is on a passage to a third reading as amended. All those in favor? All those opposed? Passes to a third reading.
Ordinance be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows, that Section 2-127 of Chapter 2 is hereby amended by adding the following. Section 2-127, pay plan, relative to the Director of Human Resources, favorable as amended, in council February 24, 2020, ready and refer to the Standing Committee on Ordinances. That report was favorable as amended.
Questions on passage to a third reading? All those in favor? All those opposed? Passes to a third reading.
Ordinance that the City Council approve, an ordinance amending Chapter 27 of the revised ordinances of the City of Brockton concerning restaurants, being ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows. Section 27-28, C1 zones, neighborhood commercial zones, paragraph 3, special permitted uses, is hereby amended favorably in council May 26, 2020, ready to refer to the Standing Committee on Ordinances and Planning. That report was favorable.
Questions on a passage to a third reading? All those in favor? Those opposed? Passes to a third reading.
Ordinance be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows, that the City Council amend Chapter 27 of the revised ordinances of the City of Brockton to create a new zoning overlay district for certain parcels on North Pearl Street. Favorable ordinance planning in council March 9, 2020, ready to refer to the Standing Committee on Ordinances and Planning. That report was favorable.
Councilor Cruz.
Madam President, just to make sure that everybody, all the councilors are fully aware of what this entails, I'd like to make a motion to send this to Finance, and we will have the developer
Second.
present to everyone so that we can make sure, just so the public understands, it won't be it is a public meeting, not a public hearing, but this way all of the councilors can get any questions answered that they want to get answered, and we'll have them at the next Finance meeting.
Second.
A motion's been made and properly seconded to postpone, to send this to Finance. So it'll be on the next Finance meeting in August, which is the third Monday in August.
Madam President, just a point of information, if we're going to have the developer come in, there were about 70 or 80 people that turned out at a meeting the other night at the Hancock School. If we're going to have one side present, should we set aside 10 or 15 minutes for a spokesperson from that group?
I'm not sure how that, we'll discuss that.
I think that would be difficult, councilors. We'll have their questions, and that'll have to be up to
Yes,
us. I
we
think it's
will-
difficult to choose otherwise who to have speak. Okay. Thank you.
I just was gonna comment, we did do a public hearing on this matter.
Yes.
Required by statute.
Yes.
And then, but we, as Council Cruz stated, we can take their questions and ask them of the developer when they're here. And of course, City Hall is open to the public. We can only hold so many in the gallery with 6 feet apart, but it will be first come, first serve, and the rest can be out in the hallway if they'd like. But it won't be open to public comment directly. It's not a hearing. A motion's been made so we've postponed it. We already voted on it. It's hot in here, sorry. So it's, we voted.
vote?
Did we vote?
No.
Did we vote, Mr. Clerk?
We did not vote.
No, okay. To postpone and, I'm sorry, motion to send this to the Finance meeting in August. All those in favor? Anyone, all those opposed? It will go to the Finance meeting in August.
Ordinance be it ordained pursuant to Section 27-5 of the City Ordinances zoning map, whereby references is made to and incorporation of said boundaries of each of the zones established as shown on the map entitled The City of Brockton, Massachusetts Zoning District Map, dated November 10th, 1967, and thereafter amended, that said map be amended to reflect zoning changes from C2R-2 current to C2 relative to Quincy Street and Center Street. In council, May 11, 2020, ready to refer to the Standing Committee on Ordinance and Planning. That report was favorable.
Questions on a passage to a third reading. All those in favor? All those opposed? Goes to a third reading.
Order that the Mayor of Brockton, pursuant to the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, be and hereby authorized to accept the grant in the amount of $920,000 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Housing Choice Incentive Program, and two, that the Mayor of Brockton be and is hereby authorized to expend and take such other actions as are necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the city's Department of Public Works. In council, June 22nd, 2020, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by roll call vote. Will the, Madam Clerk, please read the roll?
Asak?
Yes.
Cardozo?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Ianieri?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nacastro? Yes. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Order that the City of Brockton shall accept $200,000 40R Smart Growth Initiative dividend from the Commonwealth of Mass and reinvest it in planning activities. That $100,000 of the 40R Smart Growth dividend be appropriated in fiscal year 2021 to the Department of Planning and Economic Development. 40R activities, and that the department is authorized to engage professionals consulting services to prepare various planning documents for various commercial districts, and in particular, the Campello neighborhood. Said documents may include, but shall not be limited to, the following: district master plans, rezoning proposals, urban renewal plans, district improvement plans, and infrastructure plans. That $100,000 of the 40R Smart Growth dividend be appropriated into a Thatcher Street stabilization account to be created by the Chief Financial Officer. In council, June 22nd, 2020. Read and refer to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Asak?
Yes.
Cardozo?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Ianieri?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Order that the City of Brockton shall accept a $50,000 planning assistance grant from the Commonwealth of Mass, Executive Office of Energy Environmental Affairs, for the purposes of developing transit-oriented development zoning in the Campello neighborhood, and that the required 25% match of $12,500 come from the Thatcher Street 40R Smart Growth dividend, and that the Mayor of Brockton be and is hereby authorized to take such other actions as are necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the Department of Planning and Economic Development. In council, June 22nd, 2020. Read and refer to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Will Madam Clerk please read the roll?
Asak?
Yes.
Cardozo?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Ianieri?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council reauthorize the Parking Authority's revolving funds for revenues from parking fines up to and including the amount of $250,000 for fiscal 2021. Favorable as amended. In City Council, May 26, 2020. Read and refer to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable as amended.
Council Cruz.
Madam President, the CFO caught something that we're not sure how it happened, but he thought it was a scrivener's error, but it appears that at least the minutes of the finance don't reflect that we voted on this amendment or we didn't vote on the final. I'd like to make a motion that we vote on the amendment, have the amendment read, vote on the amendment, and then vote on the final passage.
Okay, a motion's been made to vote, to have the amendment read and to vote on it, correct? And has been properly seconded. All those in favor? All those opposed? That passes. Please read the amendment, Mr. Clerk.
We have the amendment.
Do we have?
Robert, you have the amendment right there. I hereby motion to amend the order to include that it is to pay expenses of the authority's parking enforcement program, including salaries and other support costs of the enforcement personnel and capital contents of the authority. Signed, Councilor Susan DeCastro.
All those in favor of the amendment? All those opposed? The amendment passes. Now, questions on adoption as amended by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Asak?
Yes.
Cardozo?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
An order amending Section 2-181 of the revised ordinances of the City of Brockton, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows. Section 2-181 is repealed in its entirety, and in its place, the following is inserted. The city solicitor shall be an active attorney at law in the Commonwealth of Mass, properly licensed and in good standing with the Mass Bar Association. He or she shall have a minimum of 5 years of experience in the practice of law in Massachusetts with a thorough knowledge of Mass general laws, including municipal law. He or she shall have demonstrated trial experience, including the research, preparation, and management of civil or criminal cases during the various stages of litigation. The provisions of Section 2-110 of the revised ordinances shall not apply to this position. However, where two or more candidates have equal qualifications and experience as determined by the mayor, preference shall be given to a resident of the city or a candidate willing to move into the city within 1 year of appointment.
Refer to ordinance.
Brockton's Social Equity Economic Empowerment Ordinance, an ordinance to establish by public mandate to prioritize the establishment of minority-owned dispensaries and to ensure minority-owned businesses have access to participate in the commercialization of cannabis.
Refer to ordinance.
Ordered that the City of Brockton finds that there is a clear need for an urban renewal plan. In order to achieve the approval objectives on the Brockton Comprehensive Plan, a blueprint for Brockton, that the downtown Trout Brook Urban Revitalization Plan, as described in Exhibit A, prepared by Harriman and RKG Associates, dated June 2020, is an urban renewal plan prepared in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 121B and 760 CMR 12, that the City Council approves the boundaries of the downtown Trout Brook Urban Revitalization Plan located in the City Clerk's office for review.
Refer to finance.
Ordered an appropriation of up to $12,131,213.26 from unappropriated estimate receipts, Plymouth County CARES disbursement for the purposes of mitigating impacts of COVID-19 on city and school operation. Funds to be expended and reimbursed from Plymouth County for the purposes outlined in Plymouth County CARES Community Update.
Refer to finance.
An order of transfer of $30,704 from the Parking Authority Reserve account to Parking Authority Personal Services other than overtime, part-time salaries.
Refer to finance.
We have an order total transfer of $50,000 from the Commonwealth of Mass Census, from the Division 2020 Mass Census Municipal Grant to Mayor's Office 2020 Census Municipal Grant Fund.
Next one.
Refer to finance.
Order total transfer of $26,654 from unappropriated estimate receipts to procurement personal services other than overtime.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to take item 48 and act on it tonight. This is a nice length during the budget hearing, and I believe that it's just the right thing to do to move this process forward as quickly as possible.
Second.
A motion's been made to take this item and act on it this evening, and it has been properly seconded. All those in favor of acting on it this evening? All those opposed? Motion carries. Now it's by a roll call vote, correct? Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Asak?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Ianary?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative, 0 in opposition.
The order passes.
Order that the City Council authorize the proposed HDIP tax increment exception between the City of Brockton and 19 Residencies LLC for the property located at 19 Main Street.
Refer to Finance.
Order that the City Council authorize the proposed HDIP tax increment exemption between the City of Brockton and 28 Petronelli LLC for the property located at 28 Petronelli Way.
Refer to Finance.
We have a resolve that the City of Brockton shall conduct a study to better understand the availability and quantity of excess water and sewer capacity of the City of Brockton, that the City of Brockton explore the prospective income to the city by providing water and sewer to surrounding communities, that the City of Brockton shall study the status of intermunicipal agreements and ways to cultivate purchases of city water and sewer, that the City of Brockton shall also study the financial feasibility of purchasing the Aquaria Water LLC desalinization plant and selling this extra water capacity to surrounding communities, that the study be conducted by a committee consisting of the City of Brockton, DPW's Commissioner, Chief Financial Officer, the Law Department, and select city councilors, that the committee shall submit a full and final report to the full City Council within 120 days of the approval of this resolve.
Refer to Finance. So that concludes our agenda. I do have an announcement to make. I do want to let everybody at home know that our school committee is hosting a parent/guardian forum about the safe reopening of our schools tomorrow, Tuesday, July 28th at 5:30 p.m. Please email your questions to reopening@bpsma.org. If you have any questions, contact your school committee members. But it's going to be a very interesting discussion, very important to parents, so hopefully people at home will be watching. In the same note, I'd like to actually congratulate all our graduates of 2020. On behalf of the full City Council, we congratulate you, we're proud of you, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And we would like to thank the mayor, our superintendent, school committee members for actually making it possible for our graduates to graduate on the field and experience a regular field graduation. So the weekend, there were many ceremonies, but it was nicely done, and I know everybody, the students really appreciate it. We saw a lot of amazing pictures, so we wish them all the best in their future. Councilors, any councilor recognition? Councilor Nacastro.
Thank you, Madam President. Tomorrow evening, July 28th, at 6:30 until 7:30 at the Davis Middle School on Plain Street, I will be hosting a neighborhood meeting to discuss a proposed subdivision at 678 East Street. And that's where the access to the subdivision is. The subdivision will be located on 7 or 8 lots in East Bridgewater over the line. It's a neighborhood meeting. I've invited about 100 neighborhood members in Ward 4. However, all of the public is invited to join us. Of course, we will be socially distancing and wearing masks. Thank you.
Any other councilors? No? Mr. Clerk? Oh, Councilor Cruz?
Madam President, I'd make a motion that we adjourn to executive session to discuss open meeting law complaints, and I believe it would be detrimental to the council to remain in open session and have this discussion.
Okay. To protect the litigation position of the body, I hereby move to go into executive session to discuss with our legal counsel as a discussion in open session may have a detrimental effect on the city. The City Council will not reconvene in open session at the end of the executive session.